welcome to everyone. Welcome to Empowerment Moment with Dr. G. I am Dr. Genevieve Kumaplay, the founder of MyGOAL and Haven International. And since the beginning of the year, we've been doing our empowerment moment, and I usually come on here the first Thursday of each month for a few minutes to just share a word of encouragement with all our families and our loved ones. And I'm just super excited to be here with you. I pray and hope that you're having a blessed one. We just entered into the month of December, everyone. The month of December. I can't even believe it. But you know what? By God's grace, we're functioning okay. You know, you and I are here. You're watching me, so that means that you are alive and well by God's grace. And my prayer and hope is that you will continue to remain the same. As I enter into this month of December, I just started to think about there's some of the things that are really deep on my heart, and I wanted to share a little bit of that. But I want one thing that I want to encourage all of us is this: that we've gone through a very difficult season, and I know that it seems like the pandemic is not letting up. But the good news is that, you know, you are here, and in this very moment, you're still alive and you have to take it. So the word of encouragement for the month of December is that as we walk through the journey between the rock and our hard place, know that God is with you. So you may be walking between a rock and a hard place. And for a lot of our families, that's the journey that we're usually on, having to make decisions that are extremely difficult, having to figure out, do I go to the left? Do I go to the right? And trying to think through how you can make the best decision in the midst of it. And that is really, really, really important for us to remember that. So as we journey between the rock and a hard place, know that God is with you and I. So a scripture that kind of come into mind, and I always like to offer a word of encouragement to all of us through scripture. And the reason is because I just think that there is something that are beyond us. And, you know, there's a power, there's a God, there's a Lord who is bigger than the things that we're going through. And he alone can get us through the season. And so the word that I'm going to share with us is from Isaiah chapter 43 and verse 19. And I'm reading from what we call the Amplified version. So, and the Bible has many different versions, and the Amplified is the version that I'm choosing to read tonight. And it's from Isaiah 43, verse 19. And it said, listen carefully. I'm about to do a new thing. It springs forth. Will you not be aware of it? I will even put a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. So let's think about that for a minute. When you're walking through a wilderness or you're walking through a desert, that's a very uncomfortable place to be. Walking through a desert. So picture it right now. Picture a desert. There is not a lot of nutrients, you know, there's no water, it's pretty parched. That's what I define as a rocky. It's the journey between a rocky and a hard place, because there's not much going on. And for some of us in this season, it feels that way. It feels as if, you know, just when you think you've gotten used to, okay, COVID, our kids have adjusted, then Thanksgiving rolled around and you can't even do the normal thing that you normally do. Then Christmas is rolling around and you're wondering, how am I even going to even make it through? That's really why I call the wilderness. That's where I call the desert. But what I got, and the word of encouragement that I got of this one, is that God is saying, listen carefully. That means that we're going to have to pay attention. In the midst of your wilderness experience right now, you're going to have to pay close attention. You're going to have to listen around. And he says, I'm about to do a new thing. Now, how could a new thing emerge out of the midst of all these challenges? How is that possible? How could a new thing emerge? But God is promising us that he is doing something new. And it requires us to have what I call faith, Faith. Faith is really believing that I don't see what's happening, but with all my heart, I believe that if the word God is promising me it will give me the grace to make it through. For those of us who are raising individuals with special healthcare needs, you know that you literally have to go by faith. When you put that child who's nonverbal on the bus to go to school, what are you doing? You're trusting that he or she is going to be okay when they go there. You're trusting that the teacher is going to do right by your child. Or perhaps your parent and your child is going off to college. You have faith that something is going to make sure that he or she is okay. Well, that's the essence of what I'm sharing tonight. That we're going to have faith that God is about to do something new in this season. And then what I have learned in this season also is that I have to learn to be flexible. I think I've been saying that a lot. Really knowing that, okay, you know what, I don't have an answer. I don't have it all 100%. I don't completely have it all to know what's going to happen in the next moment, in the next hour. But I am trusting God that within the next moment, within the next hour, everything is going to come together. That is really, really important. And that's what I call faith. So if you don't have enough of it tonight, I just want you to just say, God, I'm going to believe you to have faith. I'm going to believe that things are going to work out. Because he said, listen carefully. I'm about to do a new thing. And he says, now it springs forth. Okay, it's springing forth. That means that something is about to emerge. And that is challenging us that as we're going into 2021, we got to have faith that things are going to get better. I know that around us, we're being told that winter is going to be harsh, that winter is going to be tough, but we can't just live out on the negativity. We have to choose to say, I believe that I am going to make it through this season. We're going to get through this winter. We're going to get it. We're going to make it through stronger than we even started. And God was saying, aren't you aware of it? I am about to do something new. He said, I will put forth a road in the wilderness. I will make a way for you. I want to encourage you tonight that God has promised you that he will make a way for you. Your loved one is going to make it. So do not be distressed. Do not be discouraged. And I sense that some of us have become very wearied and just tired and just like, oh, I'm done already. 2020 come and pass already. But I want to encourage you. Don't give up yet. Please don't. Give it a chance one more try. Give it one more try. Say, you know what? I'm going to try again. I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to give it another opportunity. Perhaps you've tried it. Maybe you've knocked on certain doors. Perhaps maybe you've exercised patience over and over and over. And it seems like I've done everything I'm supposed to do. Why isn't it working? Well, I'm encouraging you to give it a try one more time. That is what I call the journey between the rock and a hard place. The journey between the rock and a hard place says, you know what, just even when I'm panting like I can't handle it anymore, I'm not going to give up. I am not going to give up. I'm not going to let go. I am going to stand up, and maybe you are just sitting right now and you're just like tired. I want you to take in a deep breath and say, I'm going to exhale out the weariness, and I'm going to take in a breath of saying that, God, you're going to strengthen me. God, you're going to give me that grace to continue to press through. I use that because many of us sometimes are like fatigued and tired. I mean, tonight I'm just coming back from work, literally ran in and said, okay, I have committed that every month, twice a month, I'll come up here and share a word of encouragement. And just when I thought, oh, maybe nobody's going to notice that I said I'm going to be on here. Oh, there are people who remember. There are people who remember. My daughter texted me and said, hey, okay, Mom, you ready? I'm like, oh, good. I thought I was just going to slide under. Guess what? Because I was tired. But as soon as I got her text, and I was like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to come on there. I'm going to share a word that has been encouraging me. So I want you to say that on a journey between the rock and a hard place, the Lord is my strength. The Lord is my encouragement. God is my peace. He will strengthen me. He said, I will make a way for you. So he's going to make a way for you tonight. So that's part of my word of encouragement tonight. I hope that has blessed you some way. I hope that is in reviving you some way. I hope it reminds you that you are not alone on this journey. You are not alone. God sees you. He sees the effort you're making. And just when you feel like, oh my goodness, I can't take it anymore, God is going to make a way for you. Now, tonight, I'm going to, part of my, vision every time I come in here and share the word is to also give some knowledge, information, or instruction or tools that I think can help you. And if it's not for you, you can share with your friends. I'm doing some work with COVID-19 and some of the medications and some of the tools that are out there. I'm not going to go into too much detail tonight, but in the next 2 weeks when I come back, I promise you, I'm going to do a topic on what are the monoclonal antibodies, the medicines that you're using, and managing people who are exposed to COVID-19. I will also talk about the very topic that some people find controversial, but it's also very important, especially even in our families. And this is the COVID-19 vaccines. I want to do a little bit of a conversation around the different types of the vaccine. So if that's something that you're interested in, let me know that if you're online and you know this is something you're interested in, I want you to let me know so that I can make sure that I come prepared to share that information with you. That I woke up this morning thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? I have a working knowledge of this area, and I think it's important that I share so that we can really learn the facts from the myths about the medications that people are going to be receiving, the vaccines, and the do's and don'ts. What are the truth and what are the myths? What are the concerns that people have? I want to talk about it because I think that it's important that we have the information and we're able to make the right decision. So that's going to be part of my conversation about the journey between the rock and a hard place. Why? Because it's not just a dry cut, I don't want it or I want it. It is something that needs to be talked about. It's something that is important to discuss. It's something important to make a well-informed decision about the value of getting the vaccine, about the value of when you're offered the monoclonal antibodies, when to say yes, when to say no, what will be the concerns, what are the side effects, what are the things that you can do to decrease your potential for side effects. So there's so many things that you can do. And I believe that, as a professional in this arena, there's information that I have that I'll be able to help to share that with you. So if that's something that you're interested in, give me the thumbs up for those of you who are on here with me. If not, I will assume that you're not interested. And I got one thumbs up. Okay, Miss Adrian, thank you for giving me that thumbs up. So that says that I will come to share that with you. But today I want to be able to talk to you a little bit about some of the tools that is on the website that I talked to you guys about previously. I believe that it was the Bach Center. I have shared previously that the Bach Center happens to be a organization that I sit on their board, and I'm a part of their Consumer Advisory Council. And so I have learned so much from this organization. And this organization has been a tool that God has used to bless me. And so the Bach Center on Developmental Disabilities has been a place where they've a lot of training for families, training for professionals. They also service the adult disabilities world, developmental disability world, DDD, and in terms of providing technical support and education. And it's interesting because I love the folks that work there, and they're diligent and dedicated. And so if you Google BOGGS Center, Bach Center, you'll get the information I'm sharing. And I've committed to share quite a bit of their information. The reason why I want to do that is simply this. I have learned that not everything that everybody hears about or knows about, unless you kind of visibly share that with them, people have no concept about the importance. So on the Bach Center's website, I'm able to provide for you guys all an opportunity to kind of see some of the things that they have on there. In particular, one of the things that I wanted to share tonight, which they have on the website, and I'm going to try to share my screen here so you can see it. Let me go technical here. So this is what I'm going to share with you today. So what you're observing is on the Bach Center website, and this is the comment on if you're a parent and you have a loved one that you're concerned about, what are the steps that you should take? So you identify that there are developmental concerns and they're identified. What are my next steps? So I wanted to share this because, and this is the, RWJ Medical School, .rutgers.edu, Bach Center. This is your project document. And then this specific is to Middlesex County. This is the flow chart tip sheet. And essentially it says, okay, and so as you see here, it says developed by the Bach Center with the statewide parent advocacy network. And it may be reproduced or modified with permission. So Dr. Carrie Caulfield is one of my absolutely favorite. I did a leadership in developmental disability training with them. And I know this was a tool that we came across in MyGOAL. So now that we're virtual, I figure it's good to really share some of this information. So if you have concerns with your child, for your child, early intervention is what you want to look into between the birth and 3 years old. So birth and 3 years old, you're noticing that the child is developmentally delayed. The child is having challenges, in terms of meeting certain milestones. Early intervention is really who you want to reach out to. And this is the toll-free number. This is New Jersey we're talking about. So perhaps, in other states it may be there. So early intervention, this is the number. You also want to reach out to the Mid-Jersey Cares for Special Children. This is their number. If the child is between the age of 3 to 5, so once they're age 3, they will age out of the school district. Out of early intervention rather. And at that point, they are now eligible for school education within the district that they live in. So in that arena, you definitely want to reach out to the district, the town you're in, the district. The district who is required by law to provide services, including other related services, not just the education, but they might need transportation. And so every town has it. And so this is where you'll contact the child study team. So the child study team will do evaluation. And so as parents, prior to the age of 3, you definitely want to make contact your child study team. So that's where the preschool special education comes in. You also definitely want to get a developmental evaluation. So it is crucial. And here at the Children's Specialized Hospital in New Brunswick, also St. Peter's University Hospital, this is Middlesex. So they have this little map or flow chart for each county in New Jersey. So we have developmental evaluation, they recommend it to be done. Then within that time period, you also want to evaluate and look for local community resources. So you want that. Community resources can also be provided through the statewide parent advocacy network. There is also Family Connection Central intake. And, a lot of times too, at this stage, you definitely want to contact a number of organizations here. We have the Family Support Organization, which I know a lot of it in New Jersey, in Central Jersey. So a lot of parents need to know that you need support. And this is where MyGOAL comes in. They have NJ Parent to Parent. So there's offer for bilingual English and Spanish. Autism Family Services of New Jersey offers its support. MyGOAL also offers support, and I'll show you that in a minute. The National Alliance on Mental Health Illness in New Jersey, NAMI, This is their information. Perform care, perform care, perform care. I can't say that enough. We'll look at the tip sheet in a minute. And in the Middlesex County Office of Health Services, there's Special Child Health Services Management. So can you imagine at that age of when a child has it, when a parent is concerned about a child not meeting milestones, just between the age of birth to 3 and 3 to 5, these are services and resources that they should be connecting to. Next time I'll be sharing some additional other tools with you, but I just thought this resource was really cool. If you're looking at it, you can go check it out on a just Google Bach Center and you can see it. And, so the whole idea here is that these are the reasons why you want to contact them. So the early intervention system is the primary point of entry into the health and social services, right? And depending on a child's development and how they do, they eventually may not require additional services any longer. For some children that, they become, adolescent, they eventually become teenagers, they might still continue to need support. And so rather than just looking at it as just services, also look at it as the need for support. So it's important that we understand that. So it in here lists all the different services that I mentioned. So the Children's Hospital of St. Peter's, Robert Wood Johnson, connect with local resources. We talked about that. Even here, they also list MyGOAL. And our organization is listed right here on their website, as you can see. And then in terms of Perform Care, so Perform Care connects family and children to a variety of behavioral and developmental disability services. Not just that, they also offer respite. So respite really means that as a parent, as a caregiver, you yourself could be under a lot of stress providing care for your loved one. And if you don't get support or get respite, you will not be able to continue to provide the care that you need for your loved one. This is the reason why I'm sharing tools, because as someone who has been walking this journey for the past 18 years, I can tell you that the respite supports, having support from my church family, support from my immediate family, support from my co-workers, support in so many different arenas has helped me to continue to be here and share the information that I'm sharing. So without support, and no one is an island. No one is an island. None of us can do it by ourselves. We need to know. But if you don't know where to go, how else are you going to be able to receive the tools that that will help your child? So MyGOAL exists as an organization to support families facing autism and other intellectual disabilities. And we do that by making connections. And this is what part of this conversation is about, and also by providing supports. And so part of my journey in life is to remind you that the creator that gave you this individual to care for in the first place is always the go-to. And from there, he will give you the wisdom to know where to get the information that you need. So I want to be able to kind of share that information with you. And so if you find this is helpful, I think it is, and that's why I'm sharing it. And every county has the specific numbers that are needed. Understand that every state has a center of excellence where the focus on intellectual disabilities and education are provided. And usually most of those programs are housed in a university center of excellence. And for the state of New Jersey, the University Center of Excellence is the Bach Center, which is affiliated with the Robert Wood Johnson Medical School. And also they have affiliation with the Children's Specialized Hospital. They have their job and their work is really, really to do a lot of training. And like I said, I have benefited so much. A lot of the information that I'm sharing with you, the knowledge that I have a lot of it is attributed to what I've learned from them and the need to continue to advocate for our loved ones. So I come here tonight to kind of share some of the content with you about the Bach Center, because I think that it's very important that we all know that there are tools out there that we can leverage and people out there that can help us. And MyGOAL is always here to support you. And I want to bless God for you. So as I promised, we'll have a conversation about and talk about the science behind how do we get through this pandemic. A lot of people are caught between the rock and a hard place of making decision in terms of what do I do when my loved one has the COVID-19 infection? How do I begin to protect my loved ones who may be immunocompromised, whether they're undergoing cancer treatment, maybe they're at the obese, their BMI or, body mass index is at a rate where they're at risk for cardiovascular diseases and the complications. What does it entail in terms of what are the things you should be doing to make sure you're healthy? And that's really the conversation I want to have. Because it's important that we realize that we are in a very unusual time in the world at this time. All of us that are living in this century right now have never seen anything like this, right? I wasn't here for the Spanish flu. So to get through this season, we have to really be mindful that health is very, very important. And by God's grace, we'll have that conversation the next time. So I promise you, I'll have some, and the reason why I want to do that is actually my hospital, where I have a team that's putting together some materials that we're going to be sharing with the public. And I want to be able to offer that information here to you all as well, too. That is out of my heart and out of my love for our families and for individuals walking this journey, that I think educated people are empowered to do great things, right? Because you cannot walk a journey in life without having the knowledge that you need and the wisdom that you need. And wisdom does not just come just by just saying, oh, I don't believe in something. It's almost like evaluating the information and then analyzing it and say, does this make sense for me? Not for my brother, not for my sister, but for my family. And I just really want to honor people who can be, are willing to look at every issue from all sides and evaluate it before jumping to conclusion. So on that note, I want to thank you for joining me on Empowerment Moment with Dr. G. I hope that you have been blessed. And remember, the journey between the rock, the journey between the rocky place or the hard place and the place where you're feeling that it's like a desert, it's like a wilderness. God has promised you that you are not alone. You are not alone. He's doing a new thing for you in this season. So hold on, because it will get better. It will. Promise you, it will get better. Just have to take it one day at a time. So I thank you for joining me. God bless you. Have a fantastic evening. If you're watching me during the day or later on YouTube, thank you for watching, and do share the video. God bless you. Bye-bye now.